Like, subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos from PH and Learn. For more videos, download our app from the Play Store. Hello guys. So in this session, first of all, we are going to learn about MySQL. So this is basically your introductory session, right? Now, before starting with any database, first let's understand what are these databases and why we basically need these databases. Now, every time, every project and everything is based on certain databases, certain data over there. Right? If you don't have data, then what will you process? What will you retrieve? What will you store? What will you manipulate? Databases are something which is required to store your data, to manipulate your data, to retrieve your data. Everywhere, whether in real time also, if you see in banks also have the data of their customers. Then if you go to a shop, they do have their selling customers, like this customer has taken this much of things and the amount is that. So everything is based on data, and this data is very important factor in every person's life. In your mobile also, you store certain data, certain documents, certain photos, videos. These photo videos are what? These photos videos are nothing but your data, right? And the management of these all data gets stored in a certain structure, certain table, that is nothing but your database. In database language, this table is also known as schema. This is a deep concept of this database management. We will see in the further lectures, right? What is this schema and all that. But now, these databases also have certain types, and those are my structured and unstructured databases. Now, from the name only you can judge. Structures mean what? A database which have a particular pattern. Means, let's say, take for example, in your college you have student database over there, right? Means what? That database will have certain fixed column over there, right? Means roll number, registration number, student name, department, amount, fees, right? So these are what? These are the fixed pattern over there, fixed column over there, right? And every time, if at all a new student is coming for admission, then what will you do? You will just store the data. Likewise, there only in the form, when you fill the form, there have certain parameters like enter the username, enter the password, enter your department, enter your registration numbers, and this complete will get stored in your databases. Means that form is what? That form is showing me number of columns which are there in my table, in my database. Now this structured database, now here you can say this means what? This is the fixed pattern. It has a structure. Now from this structure, if you want to retrieve the data, now that you have stored your data, now you want to retrieve certain data from it, then definitely let's say using the registration number. Right, if example I take that my student is there, that is Ram. Okay, my Ram student is there and he is in information technology department and he has certain registration number. I know that the registration number of Ram, but I don't, and from that registration number I want to find the details of that student. Definitely I can retrieve it from the database. Just put the registration number over there and I will get all the data of Ram. That's what I needed, right? So this is what your structured database is. Easily, this structured database means what? It has a fixed pattern over there, and in that fixed pattern only you need to just store the data. And if at all you want to retrieve the data, then definitely you can retrieve it. And here you can manipulate the data also. Means you can insert a data, you can delete a data if you don't want that, you can retrieve the data and so on. You can manipulate the database also. So these are what? Structured database. Now what about unstructured one? Now if we consider social media, let's take a Facebook over there, right? Now in Facebook what happens? There are videos, images. Means there what happens? Anytime some person is tagging you, means in certain videos, in certain posts, in certain images. So people are tagging you. That databases, do they have a certain pattern over there? No. Means let's say one time my friend has tagged me in a photo. Now same friend has tagged me in a video, right? So that structure is there. Am I able to create a pattern over there, a fixed pattern? Means here I can I create the name of the friend, then the entered data is like this and so on. Here there is no pattern. The data gets stored in a random manner over there, right? There doesn't have an ID number over there, the registration number. Likewise, there is no such thing. Every time some new data is going to stare at a random time interval, right? Sometime 2 videos is getting stored, sometime only 1 video is stored, sometime multiple images are there. Friends do tag you in a multiple images, right? Like 10 to 12 images there are, and in the next day, let's say I only have tagged you in 1 image, but in the previous day I have tagged you in 12 images. Then here what is happening, random data is coming. There is no such pattern like at this interval time only 1 image will come. Is that so? No. And that's the reason we call it as a unstructured databases. And the example, the database which manages this unstructured databases is your MongoDB. This MongoDB is a platform where you can manage your unstructured databases, whereas MySQL is a platform from where you can manage your structured databases. Okay. These unstructured databases we will see in our later on sessions. We do have the included sessions of MongoDB and so on. We will see in there. Now let's come back to your structured databases. Now I just now told you this structured database means what? It has a pattern, it has certain specified columns over there, and likewise we have to insert the data over there, right, according to the column name. So this is what your structured database. Now this structured database you can manage, you can create from which platform? That platform is named as MySQL. Another platforms are there like Oracle, Postgres. These are nothing but your platforms which manages your structured databases. So now if I come back to your MySQL, now MySQL does what? It is a platform. Every time remember, MySQL is not a programming language. It is what? It is a platform from which you can manage your database. Okay, and now here also we require a programming language, and now that programming language is known as SQL, that is Structured Query Language. Through this SQL we can manage our databases, we can manipulate our databases. If at all you want to insert something, then there which programming language you have to use? SQL. But where you have to use this? In the platform that is my MySQL. So now in conclusion we can say that MySQL is what? MySQL, Postgres, Oracle, these are what? These are the platforms. Whereas SQL is what? SQL is your language from which you can manage your databases, whereas MySQL, these are platforms where you can manage your database. This is the difference, right? So this is how we now there are many different platforms and MySQL is one of that. Now MySQL is very easy to handle and it is very easy to understand also. Right? Now this MySQL is known as relational database. Now what do you understand by relational database? We will see in our next lecture. Okay, but before that, if we consider again MySQL, in this is your MySQL. In the series of this session, this complete tutorial, we are going to learn about MySQL platform only. We will manipulate our data, we will insert the data, we will retrieve the data, we will do each and every possible thing with our data through in our MySQL platform only. Okay, so in this series of tutorial I am going to make you learn about how we can what are the syntax we can use in our platform, what is the difference, and what basically is MySQL, and how we can manipulate our data in short. Okay, so this was it for today's video. Hope to see you in the further next lectures. where we are going to discuss the actual about MySQL. So for now, thank you and goodbye. For more videos, download our app from the Play Store.